Hey guys, the Maniac back again, bringing you another video. So today I had a request from someone to discuss the Nordstream 2 pipeline, and so I thought I would start off this video with just a quick clip by courtesy of Yahoo Finance. Let's get into it.
That means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
How will you do that exactly, since the project and control of the project is within Germany's control?
We will. I promise you, we'll be able to do it.
He promises we'll be able to do that. I wonder why he can make such a promise. I wonder why. Ridiculous. It is ridiculous how much of a vassal state Germany actually is. It's ridiculous that it's not even really a country that can make its own decisions. Head of the EU, more like head of nobody. I mean, like, you gotta take your orders from the US still? Pathetic. And Schultz, he's a pussy. Like, can we get someone who actually has some energy? Like, literally, I mean, I don't even know where to begin with this crap. So the US says, well, we don't like Russia. So guess what? Germany, you have to pay because we're gonna end the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. The pipeline gets ended by espionage and explosion. What do they think? Oh, they think it was the Russians. So the Russians has blown up one of their strongest negotiating tools, the pipeline, to instead of just turning it off. That's weird. Why would they blow up their own pipeline? Unless it was what Biden said, he's just going to get rid of the pipeline, aka blowing it up, because he doesn't want Germany to have this connection with Russia. He doesn't want Russia profiting from Germany buying their gas. And they want to disconnect the two countries economically even further. We've been watching more and more articles come out. Sweden has to prepare for war. Poland has to prepare for war. Germany needs more troops. There's going to be a war in 5 to 8 years. Well, it kind of looks like, is there going to be a war? Because we have the US wanting to economically distance Russia and Germany apart. And wouldn't this just be the perfect thing to do? Just, cut the head off? There's no negotiation. It's literally like, nope, negotiation over. We're blowing up the pipeline. But let's get into it. Now, so far, the Ukraine war has cost Germany about 167 billion by the end of 2023, and that's according to the German Chambers of Industry and Commerce. That's about 4% of the GDP. German industry has to pay 40% more in energy needs in 2023% now as well, because obviously we relied on historically cheap Russian gas. Now we have Biden saying before the pipeline was blown up that he'd be able to end the pipeline if Russia continues to invade Ukraine, which they have, hence the pipeline blowing up. Just a theory. And we also have Schultz getting flown to Washington after the pipeline has blown up with no members of the German press on board, no formal dinners scheduled, and the two world leaders were not stayed to conduct a press conference together either, which is historically what happens when two high profile people meet. Now, apparently the meeting they had went for about 80 minutes and there were no aides present whatsoever. So obviously Schultz got the lowdown of what actually occurred, and he hasn't been given the green light to actually say what has happened. Now, for people who like the pipeline, which is basically everybody, I found that Die Linke, 92% were in favor. AFD, 84, FDP, 82, CDU, CSU, 81, SPD, 75, and the Green Party, 69. So everybody's basically in favor of the pipeline as well. Now, it's honestly just ridiculous. I mean, I had a whole bunch of stuff written here. But basically, they said they found Here, I'll give you the most recent one. On the 6th of June 2023, it was reported that a European ally had sent intelligence to the US, informing them that the Ukrainian military is plotting an attack on Nord Stream natural gas pipelines, 3 months before the pipelines were attacked. According to the intelligence, the plan to attack the pipeline was put on hold, and that Ukraine's commander in chief, Valery Zolozhivny, Jesus, these names, dude, was put in charge of the operation so Ukraine's president Zelensky should not be aware of it. The Washington Post reported in 2023 that Roman Chevesnitsky, a colonel in Ukraine's Special Operation Forces, had coordinated the Nord Stream pipeline attack. So let's see. Ukraine, when it comes to Ukraine and the US, we know that even Ukraine had a peace deal on the table with Russia, but they got told no by the US to not accept the deal. And so they're coming out with this thing saying that, oh, well, it was Ukraine who sabotaged the pipeline. Really? Ukraine? You're telling me it wasn't, probably the US using Ukraine or telling them what to do? Like they generally would be doing in every proxy war where this kind of stuff happens. So obviously it was the US. It was in part of the US. Or maybe Biden's just really good at predicting that the pipeline won't be functioning in a few months' time after giving that speech, right? He had a little slip, accidentally let it slip that, yeah, the pipeline's not going to be operating. What does Germany have to say about that? Well, who gives a fuck? It doesn't matter what they say. The people will take the brunt. The German people will take the brunt of the higher energy prices. Screw them. And don't you just love that? That we, the German people, can just be pushed aside to whatever the US wants. Are we even an independent country? I don't know. Now, in a nutshell, who suffers the most from the pipeline getting blown up? Well, it's actually Russia. It's their pipeline. It was their massive negotiating tool with Germany. And now Europe has to seek alternatives to Russian gas. Now, since they've lost the European market, Russia has now just turned to Asia, which just makes more sense for them. But people say, oh, well, maybe Russia blew it up because they're trying to make it look like the US blew it up. I just feel like it's too many things removed. Like, people are very simple, they're very basic. It was the US. They obviously used the agents or the people they had within Europe, within Ukraine. They said, look, if you want to get Germany more involved, you have to be able to take them away from the Russian negotiating table. To do that, you have to blow up the pipeline. So what are you waiting for? Hence, the pipeline has been blown up. Hence, they are now, to such an extent that now we're so economically departed from Russia now that now they're saying maybe we should go fight Russians in 5 to 8 years. Well, guess what? I don't want to fight Russians in 5 to 8 years. I don't want any German to go fight more Russia, like go fight Russians. Like, seriously? Who do they think they are? You can just draft people again these days? Conscript people? I don't think so. Not happening. But of course, they can do whatever they want. If the US tells them to jump, they jump. Because it's like this country isn't even a country. It's like it's not even independent. It's pathetic. It's just a glorified vassal state which pretends to be independent, but in reality, it is just a lapdog for the US. But anyway, that's it for this video. If you liked it, like, follow, share, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.